This is more textbook material, but oh man. Hello dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. This is Uncut Fishing, and today I'm at a medium-sized stream. I'm using my favorite 7 feet 10 to meters 40 spinning. My lure is Mepps Aglia TW copper colored number 3. It's some time after 10 o'clock. I arrived 2 hours ago, but I spent most of that time looking for food and drinks that I lost on my way to the stream in the bushes, because I forgot to zip my vest pocket. And it's worth talking about. Actually, maybe I will tell about it as we are checking out this interesting run, this hole, I would say. So when I came to the stream, I wanted to check my waders, because I knew that they were leaking, and I wanted to use the water. You know, you can put the wader into the water, you can see where the air goes through, and find the hole and fix it. And I noticed that I lost all of my snacks and drinks because of that unzipped pocket. So I left my spinning, my stuff, and tried to retrace my steps back to the car. I didn't find anything, and I failed to find the car initially. Eventually I somehow found the car. I would probably still be looking for it if it wasn't for GPS. I took some other snacks and drinks. I again retraced my steps from the car to the stream, and I think I did it pretty well, but didn't find anything, so I lost it, I don't know where. Eventually I got to the stream. I spent at least 20 minutes looking for the hole in my waders. I think I found it. Then I had some trouble fixing it, because my glue tube, you know, glue tube tap cover got glued to the tube. It was impossible to resolve, although I'm always very careful to prevent that from happening, but it seems you can never be careful enough. So I had to cut my glue. Oh man, there was a stone. Okay, I just avoided a huge problem, falling into the water at this depth. That would be something. Okay. So I eventually glued my waders, and here I am fishing. So I lost a ton of precious time, and it's late July, so morning is exceptionally valuable, because daytime is very hot. And not only it's valuable because it's hot and you feel like crap fishing in, you know, 30 degrees, but fish become less active. That's the main problem. And I can tell from my first results so far, I have been fishing for very little before I started shooting. Prior to I started shooting, but my first impressions are really mixed, and that's a very mild way to put it. I saw some good holes, some nice pools, but just a couple of small ones, and that's it. And you know, when in a good pool you get absolutely no action, and then in some crappy one you get a small one, you can suspect that the good pool you checked out probably had something more interesting. But it's always just a suspicion. Things turn around quickly in trout fishing. Fact is, I missed the morning hour, the best time of the day, so now I have to make the best I can from what I've got. The stream that I'm at is quite unknown to me. I've been, oh, there was a take, I think. I've been at this stretch about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and that's the only one I was there. Oh, there's a small one, a small trout, and that's it. So I don't remember any of it. I will not be able to tell where are the holes and what's coming up. I pretty much can't recognize any of that. So that's pretty interesting, I like it. The truth is, I'm not really comfortable with the stream. It can change if I start getting fish. But so far, I mean, for example, this run, it's a very pretty run, and by pretty I mean good. There can be fish there. So my initial intention was to fish really fast, but when I see places like that, I don't know, I just can't leave them after 2 or 3 casts. And usually when fish are active, that would be enough. 2-3 casts into a run like that, fish would find the spinner. You don't need to overthink the spots that you put it into. But right now, as you can see, I made maybe 10 casts and nothing to write home about. Let's see. So it's wide, it's shallow, it's pretty fast. No, maybe we should try and check out these shallow runs, but I doubt they will work because the river is in up and down mode at this time of year. It rains, it goes up, it doesn't rain, it falls down, and some of these runs may be extremely shallow very soon. Okay, so we have an agricultural machinery crossing, and maybe that could be our changing point. That's a pretty deep run. Yeah, when you don't know the stream, it's sometimes problematic because you, in these conditions, the sun is low. It's not always visible whether it is deep or it is shallow. And here that was pretty deep. Over there it seems shallower. Yeah. Oh, man, I tried to take care of mosquitoes and snagged in the meantime. Okay, let's get something going. Oh man, there was a fish, but doesn't seem like a large one. Oh man, it's actually pretty nice. Okay. Okay. It decided to go downstream, almost in between my legs. I'll try to land it without a landing net. Come on, I will not. Man, that's an awesome fish. Here it is. Oh man. Come down, come down, come down. High 30s. Oh man, I don't want to hurt it no more. Oh man. That's a nice start, I must say. I hope I didn't hurt the fish. And these phone calls today, they are killing me. I mean, there's already a fourth, maybe phone call I've had, and what a time to have one. And I can see the fish is under the water. We'll try to help it out. Yeah, so it will be fine. It has recovered. It fell into the water. It looked pretty bad for a moment, but recovered. So let's move on. So that was a pretty nice fish to start it. I think close to 40 centimeters. That's to 16 inches, but I think lacking maybe a couple of centimeters. I couldn't measure it properly. You can't, over squeeze the fish. Okay, so if I will get a small amount of takes, but all of those takes will be like this one, then be it. But as you saw, that place where it was at wasn't deep. It wasn't anything spectacular by any means. It wasn't a run, it wasn't a hole, it wasn't an undercut. It was just a structure in the current. And when it first attacked, I thought that it was actually a small trout. So, despite all of my experience, you are still prone to errors of that sort. So that slightly changes the way I'm approaching the river. Now suddenly I need to check out stuff that didn't maybe seem that impressive before. Well, that's pretty much my style of fishing. Yeah, this structure right below me was actually pretty promising, but I didn't check it out from the distance. The only problem with it, it's far from the main current. It is difficult to see where the main current is. Right here. Okay, so there are fish to be found. I can already say that it's a pretty good result, but let's set a more ambitious goal. Let's say that we wanna catch what? At least one more good fish. Let's not count the small ones, although they are pretty good for YouTube's. Oh, there's a trout. There's a trout in there, and if you rewind the video you should see it. No need to do it, because here it is. So as you can see, a shallow run. Now I will need some blood. So today I'm unfortunately harming fish more than I would like to. It was in high 20s, something like 11 inches. Oh, come on. Yeah. If you fish, especially if you fish spinners, all of those situations will be very familiar to you. In this case, twist it around the tip of the rod as usual, but to make it more interesting, it also caught one of the loops, so it wasn't possible to untangle this without reaching for the tip. So, two fish, and as you can see, a very shallow run, and the fish was underneath that. Oh, it came into its own spot again. Again, if you rewind it, you will see the fish as it moved underneath that dead tree trunk. This is very similar, but there is no hiding spot like there was on the opposite bank. short cast. But suddenly all of the river looks promising. Obviously it's impossible to check out all of these small pockets, so you still have to look for high percentage spots. This is gonna be overgrown pretty soon. It's strange it hasn't done so yet. Calm stretch, and again I don't know if it's deep or shallow. It appears it's very shallow. So we can see the stream bending, but not very soon. We'll reach that bend, but until we do, we'll check out all of these hooks and crannies, although they are not as good as the one that we got the fish from just now, because there is no concentration of current. There is a structure, an undercut, but again not a lot of water flowing by it, so not a lot of point for trout to sit there, but it's by no means impossible. There is a trout over there, but it seems to be a small one. Oh, there is one there as well. I need to slow down my wading. It was pretty aggressive. Some teabagging never hurts. I'm not too worried because I think there is a fish, but it's a small one. Maybe actually it went upstream and I got a take from it over there. So if a fish is small, no need to sweat about it. Okay, so a deeper stretch. We have to work the opposite bank. Seems there is an undercut over there. Let's hope the fish are active, if there are fish, and they will come out of it. Usually in such occasions, as I said before, I first make safe casts further away from the undercut and then get closer. obviously sometimes you can do it the other way around, but in this case I can see that the undercut isn't actually deep. It is not the deepest part of the stream. So the fish may not be there. By the way, sorry if the picture is slightly sideways or and off center. As I mentioned before, my camera is faulty and it shoots both sideways and off center, and it seems that this angle is changing over time. So I didn't adjust it this time to conserve the battery. Because for that you need to use wireless, you know, to use your mobile phone. And wireless just eats the battery like crazy. Okay, so that was a more conventional trout stretch and no fish. No fish. Whereas previously we had two in pretty unorthodox, let's say, spots. This is more textbook material, but oh man, I have spoken too soon. This is the king of this particular stretch. No, this is a pike. Oh, pike is even worse. Thankfully it is hooked only into the lip, because a pike like that can easily bite the line off. So actually it's a pretty nice pike. Man. Man. Here. Oh. That's even better actually. It saved me the trouble of unhooking it, but that was a pretty decent pike for a small stream like that. I would say somewhere in the region of 45 centimeters. And that's maybe even approaching 50. That's like 18-20 inches. So obviously a pike like that will scare off a lot of smaller fish. Scare away, maybe I should say. So we've got one more good fish, but it's not a trout. So let's move on. It took over there. It's never really clear where the pike comes from. It can attack from a pretty large distance. Any fish, actually, active fish, can do that, but I suspect it was probably standing underneath that log. That's a very good spot, but not necessarily. It may have come from that structure. But yeah, if that was a trout, as I initially thought, that would be a really nice fish for a stream like that.